federal government is being extreme with this particular bill that they're about to sign? To what extent would you say, okay, it's allowed?
I mean, there's a rumor about them shutting down, I think, Facebook or Instagram, I don't know. If it gets, it's not a rumor. If it gets down to that point, it's really extreme for me. That's a platform that will actually go out and talk about how they feel. So if it gets shut down, maybe Facebook or Instagram, I mean, that's really extreme for me. And that is just killing people's voices in Nigeria. That's the extent for me.
So, Blessing, to what extent do you agree or disagree?
Well, I would say for them to bring out this amendment bill, that's the NBC amendment bill. Well, to some extent, I would say I agree to it, but to some other extent, when they bring up something in this country, they end up doing it the other way around. They will exaggerate the whole thing. And the funny enough is that the masses are meant to suffer.
Well, why? What do you mean?
Yes, the masses are meant to suffer all of these things because there are some people that rely on what they hear. Maybe on Facebook because it's easier for people to get information on Facebook because it costs less.
Yes, and it's the fact that it's mobile, the information is readily available.
So it costs less, and compared to you going on Twitter, going on Instagram and all of that. So for them to now restrict it, it's not even everyone that will have the opportunity to listen to what's going on what's it called, television.
Yeah, who really watches TV these days?
So you can afford a phone, at least you know.
Yeah, so a phone, you can easily get information on Facebook and all of that. So for them to now restrict it, I think it's going to affect a whole lot.
Okay. Well, for me, I really don't know where I'm sitting on this fence. I really don't. I'm particularly concerned about the people. In Nigeria now, majority of the citizens, they are entrepreneurs owing to the lack of employment in the country. So there's so many people that are relying on these platforms to do their businesses. And you banning Twitter, of course there's still a lot of people who are still on Twitter because of the VPN app that they're using. Yes, but notwithstanding, a lot of people would have lost their means of livelihood due to this. And I think for me that's just extreme. If as the federal government, if you're going to restrict or control the number of information that is being put out there, I think there are better ways to do that. We have the NBC that regulates normal mainstream activities. There could be a way also for these activities to also be restricted online and not completely shutting down the platform. That's where I stand on this subject matter. But that's as much as we can take on the Punch newspaper. So over to Blessing now.
Okay, Vanguard newspaper, in the front page of Vanguard newspaper here we have in page 5, nothing to restructure, angry Sans elder battles Buhari over this restructuring. Then we also have in page 14 of Vanguard saying about insecurity, I don't want to hear of unknown gunmen, says Lalong. Lalong tells security agency that he does not want to hear anything called unknown gunmen. And also in page 14, APC to give 10,000 youths tickets to run for the upcoming election. So what do you think about this? Talking about this tickets, giving 10,000 youths to run for this election. Now I think, how many youths will be able to afford this? Okay, for the fact that they gave them these tickets to run, how many youths will even want to run for this?
That's the problem. We keep saying that the youths are the future
leaders.
So,
but the leaders, yes or yes, are still
okay. So if we don't take up such opportunities or such challenges, it's never going to happen for us. We keep saying that our leaders are bad, these people don't understand our plight because they're so far from us age-wise. They don't understand what our problem really is, they cannot actually solve these problems, so to speak. But if we do not take up the challenges, if we don't take up the baton and run with it, it's going to keep happening the way it's happening now.
One thing I would say about these tickets is for them to give them that ticket. That's the beginning of, in fact, continuous issue that we'll be facing, because in this country, godfatherism, godfatherism is a problem that we're having. Now, if you are giving these youths 10,000 tickets to run for this election, what's the probability that those youths will not be
answerable to
those people that give them those tickets? Because these are issues that we keep on facing every day.
Okay.
The thing is, governorship election, presidential election, whatever election,
even local governments,
youths are unable to afford it. So for the fact that they are now giving them these tickets to run for it, I think
they're going to really answer those that.
Yes, there's going to be a problem. But for the fact that they gave them this opportunity, I think it's a nice one for them to run for it. And let's hope actually. Let's test
the waters, right?
Yes, because it's long overdue. And talking about this governor of Plateau State, about this insecurity, for him to say that I don't want to hear anything about unknown gunmen, that whenever that if he's to hear about this thing, all this what do I call it now? All this banding, that you don't want to hear about it, because those people are actually known.
They are?
They are known.
So how come we've not fished them out if they're known?
That's why he said he doesn't want to hear about anything called unknown. So anything that happens, the leaders are meant to come out and fish those people out. If you are not able to fish them out, then you are meant to leave their office. So I think
so. It's kind of like a sanction to the government, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's a nice one by Governor of Plateau State there. So us moving on, it's on page 12 we have oil spillage. Court awards Akwa Ibom communities 82 billion naira for the damages that was encountered in Akwa Ibom there. Orders federal government to pay Bayelsa 82 billion naira. Then also in page 8 of Vanguard newspaper we have customs threatens to impound unverified private jets from July 6th of July. They threaten to impound unverified private jets. Few days ago we had a situation whereby a man came into this country with bag filled with pounds, dollars, and different currency in that bag. He smuggled it in, and he paid some officials to help him out through the back door. So it was because of the security, the tight security. They were like, let me check what's actually in this bag. It was after a series of check and the whole struggle and all of that. That was when they now knew that this man is actually a fraudster. So with this, I think it should guess that was why they led to all of this. So I think it's a nice idea. Security agents, they should increase the way at which they get all of this.
The part that really caught my attention was the fact that you said he paid some officials to pass through the back door, and yet someone still deemed it necessary to check the bag. I would say that's really impressive. Way to go, Nigeria.
So
it means there's hope for us.
There's hope. There's hope for us.
Right.
With that huge amount of money, the money sum up to 18 billion naira.
Wow. Okay.
18 billion naira.
All right.
Which is a whole lot, considering what we are facing in this country.
I've been saying there's no money on ground.
My sister, there's money.
On ground.
There's money.
All right. Is that what you have for us on Vanguard?
Lastly, I'll be taking page 26 in the Vanguard newspaper. We have 774,000 jobs. Federal government goes after defaulting banks. There you get in page 25 of Vanguard newspaper. Ijoma, let's hear what you have.
Over to Tribune. Nigeria made $400 billion from petroleum sector in 10 years. Court stores release of 18-year-old who gave birth in prison. Army kills 20 Boko Haram swap terrorist in Benue Forest. Okay, she said that. Fish farmers lament loss of over 100 million naira in Ijebu flooding.
Wow.
Okay, first of all, Nigerian made $400 billion from petroleum sector in 10 years.
In 10 years?
That's a lot of money though. And I'm just asking, where's the money entering?
It begs the question. Yeah, where's the money?
In this country. So, I mean, with all this money we have, 10 years, that should be about
a decade.
10 years. Where's it gotten us this extent? How far have we gone with this kind of money? $400 billion on Iran.
And why exactly are we still soliciting for external loans?
Exactly.
The thing is, we keep on recovering money, but we don't know where that money is going to.
Okay.
And we keep on borrowing money.
We still don't know where that money is
where
going
that
to.
money is being channeled to.
Okay.
And the rate at which we go through issues, if everything is on the increase, beans, gari, and everything is on sharp increase. The price is something else.
Exactly.
There's no job. Electricity.
Roads.
In fact, everything is just a mess in the country, and we end up recovering a whole lot of money. I just wonder where all of this money is going to.
It's when you said there's money on ground, I feel like that's not. I feel like there's money on the air. Because it doesn't get to us though. If it's on the ground, it's supposed to get to us.
Wow, that's an interesting view.
The rich keeps getting richer.
The poor keeps getting poorer.
Sister, that's just it. That's just like
then there was a lady that gave birth. She was arrested during the protest, NSAS protest, and she's still in prison till now. And she gave birth, I think that was yesterday or so, last week, I don't know.
In prison?
Yes. She still dealt it today.
Wow, that's I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how to react to that. So an infant child is starting out, a boy, a girl, boy child, a girl child. Okay, so the child is starting the first day of his or her life in prison.
It's so sad to know.
So automatically that child, whenever he gets out of prison, is going to be an ex-convict just by default.
Exactly. That's so sad.
That's so sad.
It's so sad that people that fight for this country end up not getting justice. Because even people that participated in the protests, the people that died,
the NSAS
protest, the people that died, they just died. Just that. And they end up saying that there was no death accounted for at that particular time. And now we're hearing of a woman that gave birth in prison just because she participated in the protest, NSAS protest.
Okay. Yeah, just to quickly chip this in, I would say that normally nobody solicits for anything that would, incite violence or that will cause anarchy in a nation, in the country. So nobody would deliberately just see something like this and say, okay, let me just say this to stir up, anarchy just for the country to be in turmoil. We're never supporting violence, we're never supporting things of such status. But the fact is, we cannot deny the fact that a lot of things are going wrong in the country, and we just hope that sooner rather than later things start to get better. And it starts from us, the youths that they say are the leaders of tomorrow. When you're in a position where you're given something to do it well. Accept the challenge, pick up the baton and run with it, because they say now where should know where they pin them. So since we have been claiming that the leaders who are so distant from us age-wise don't understand our plights, since we understand our plights, let's be able to accept some challenges so that when we're in such positions we can do better than they are doing. All right, so that's how we are going to draw the curtain on the newspaper review segment, but the show continues. Keep watching and we'll be right back.